how's it going, everybody? It's Joey. Got a new video for you today. Gonna go over a few questions from some folks. A couple that I thought were interesting. Give a little insight on things today. I've created this channel to help people with the music business, and I consider myself to be an expert on making money at music. I've been doing it for a long time, still doing it today, and basically giving tips to people that need to make money at music. And in this business, you're going to run into just about every single weird issue imaginable. So when one comes along, I'll post it up. Something that happens to me along the way at a gig or dealing with band members or whatever, we're going to post it all here. So this first guy says, I'm lead guitar in a rock pop band. I was brought in by the bassist and the other guitarist, singer. He's the leader. This is the first band I've ever been in where we don't get paid after the show. So basically what he's saying is he's used to kind of, getting paid after the gig. The minute that the gig's over, money gets handed out, which is the way a lot of people do it. There's two different types of situations at play here. If you're playing in a bar band, and they give the band a small amount of money or whatever, just divvy it up and give it to the people that night. No sense in them having to wait around for you to pay them. The other situations, like if it's a wedding, say, they paid the balance on the day of the wedding. So if they did do that, usually it's a pretty sizable amount of money, and the band leader may not want to overexpose himself in case something happens to that money, that check or whatever. Because if something does happen in that check and they paid everybody, then they're out twice. So that's one situation where I know some people have done this a little bit differently. Me personally, what I do is once we're done with the gig, I get up the next morning and then I immediately cash app everybody. So if you play with me, I use Cash App. There's all kinds of different ways to get paid. Every band leader has their own way of doing things. I prefer Cash App. So typically when a sub comes on or whatever, I ask them real quick, hey, do you got Cash App? If they don't, then I'll typically pay them however they want to be paid, because I don't really care. I'm not going to be paying this person very often. So if they don't have Cash App, then fine. I'll pay them and whatever they want. I can pay them in just about anything. And but if they begin to play with me more often, then I will eventually kind of lead them to Cash App. Say, it's kind of how I do things. When you're a contractor and you're kind of getting steady work or whatever, you should do whatever you can to kind of make things easier on the band leader, because you want the band leader to pay you money. That's the ultimate goal. So set up on your end whatever you need to do to make it easy for that band leader to do that. Plus, every musician in every band should have several ways to get paid. I can't even tell you how many times I've been in a gig and a client has come up to me and said, "Oh my God, you guys are just amazing. Loved the show and everything, and we want to send you a little gift. Do you use Venmo?" And but I hadn't used it in a long time, so it took me a minute to kind of get signed on. I didn't know passwords and stuff like that. But in that situation, I don't want to go to them and say, "Oh, I don't use Venmo, but I've got Cash App." No, don't do any of that, period. When they're trying to give you money, it's a very, very dicey situation, because it could be, if they can't pay you, then they'll say, "Oh, we'll try to get it to you tomorrow." Tomorrow never happens. So keep that in mind. I have Venmo around just for that reason. I've also got PayPal, all the different ways you can get paid, because you never know who wants to give you money at the end of the night. So that's important. He seems to want to hold on to the tip money and add it to the check payment 2 days or more after the gig. I simply don't get this. My thinking is he should split the money right then and there before everybody goes home. It's a cash tip. So yeah, I mean, I've done this millions of times. If somebody gives me cash or whatever, it's very easy just to give it to the band right then and there, just to say, hey, the client gave us this, here you go. I don't see too many cash tips anymore in my business. Most of the cash tips that I see come from the client electronically. People don't really have checks anymore. They don't carry cash, things like that. So, yeah, I mean, if somebody does give you a cash tip and you're lucky enough to get that, then, give everybody cash right then and there, because their electronic payment with me is going to have to wait until the next day. Never more than the next day. It's always out the next morning. Doesn't matter if it's a holiday, doesn't matter any of that kind of crap. As soon as I get up in the morning, I have a chance to sit down and think about things and go through everything, and then I roll out the payments. So that's kind of a good question. Yeah, this guy's got a legitimate beef. The band leader should be aware of each player's situations. Like if you've got a drummer and a bass player that work for Microsoft, they may not be as worried about cash tips at the end of the night. But if you got somebody who's really out hustling, maybe working a job where they don't really make a lot of money, or they're currently not working a job, which is pretty rare, but does happen. You should make sure that those guys, you should actually have a talk with them and say, hey, I pay people the next day, so you got to be good with that. If there's ever an issue or whatever, if, you're worried about gas money to get home, let me know, and we'll go from there. I don't run into that very often. Most of the people I work with, are pretty stable. But that's not to say that somebody couldn't be on hard times or whatever. And I've had plenty of musicians come to me, and ask for special situations. Hey, I know our gig isn't for another couple weeks, but I'm kind of on a little bit of a hard time right now. Is there any way that you could possibly pay me for that gig today? And I've done that many, many times. And I've been lucky. I've never had an issue with it or had any kind of person, that I paid not show up to the gig. Typically, it's somebody that I know really well. I don't want to see anybody have hard times and stuff. So as a band leader, it's my job to, kind of work with people. You got to make a lot of deals with a lot of clients. You got to make a lot of deals with a lot of band members. You got to make a lot of deals with a lot of people. So it's good to be a deal maker, so always keep an open mind. Always keep thoughts out to the, to what's going on around you. You don't want to be too hard-nosed about too many things. Some things you do, some things you don't. Know what hills you want to die on and what hills you don't. And just make sure you, as a band leader, you're always thinking of yourself as well, because it's easy to forget yourself and get into patterns of doing things that are out of your business model. So it's always, this kind of thing, trying to make sure that, people are good. Plus, you want people to have a good vibe about you. You want players to like your gig. You want players to like your situation. You want players to feel good about how they're paid, what they're paid. You want all that. So that's a good question. And the guy says, am I being a diva? No, I don't think you are. Now, if you've got a lot of money and you're bugging about the end of the night, then yeah, you're a diva. Whatever. Just wait a little while for the band leader to sort everything out. This next guy says, I've been diagnosed with severe hearing loss in only one side, my left ear. This actually kind of hit home to me because I also have some hearing loss in my left ear, and I can attribute it to a Mackie powered monitor. You got to be careful with those things, man. Those things are dangerous. I had one of them. I was setting up a main, and stupidly, I flipped the on switch on, and it was cranked all the way to the right. Plus, the mic gains were up, and it was just a bad situation. It was a coming together of a lot of bad situations all at once. And I turned this thing on, and my ear was right next to it, and it literally shattered my brain. It brought me to my knees. I just could not even stand up. I was in so much pain. I couldn't, it felt like I had an earplug in, but I didn't have an earplug, which was very scary. And I was in Canada too at the time. So if I needed to see a doctor or whatever, I don't even know what that would have entailed. I mean, I'm not insured in Canada, or I don't know if I am. I should have looked that up. But I literally blew out the side of my the left side, and I've never been right since. But my hearing did come back. I've got a that's the pitch E of my ear ringing. So a thing that I can do if I ever needed to was I can tune to the pitch in my ear ringing, because that's a perfect E. Yeah. So if I don't have a tuner, I could just be, if I was in a pinch. Anyways, this person says the right side of my hearing is normal. ENT insists that it's nothing but progressive old age. That could be. I don't know. This person's more of an expert than I am. I know exactly what happened to my hearing on my left ear. Plus, also many, many years of playing super loud rock music without earplugs. For a while there, I was getting better when I'd go see friends' bands, or I'd go see the Melvins, or I'd go see Tool, or I'd go see any of those bands, or AC/DC. I would always make sure I had earplugs for any of those concerts. I'll blow my hearing out for my own gig, but not for somebody else's. And so basically, if you stuck around to the end of this, thank you so much. This channel is dedicated to people who want to make money at music. That's all we do here. If you could like and subscribe. I'd really like to try to build this channel up a little bit. A like goes a long ways. Share it if you have any friends that are looking to get in the music business, or friends that want to make money. I think that this channel is basically designed to help contract players become band leaders. I don't think that there's a lot of success in being a contract musician. I've never been one. I don't ever want to be one. It's best to be a band leader or a partner with somebody in the band. Lots of people do partnerships. My wife actually plays with me. She's my partner in life and my partner in marriage and stuff. So she's officially a partner of the band. But for all the years, I was just on my own. I like to do it that way because I make decisions fast. When I make a decision, right or wrong, I live with it. I own it. I don't pass the buck to anyone else. Everything stops with me. Anytime there's a tough situation, everybody always comes to me. It's my job as a band leader to shield all the band members from any of the business, because they're not part of the business. They have their own business. They're a contract musician, and I'm their client. So, with that said, they don't know anything about the business of the band in any type of way whatsoever. Or me being the musical director, I do all the music. I control every aspect of the band in every type of way. That's just the only way that I know how to operate. It's the only way I know how to get things done. Been getting things done for a long time. Thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Take care.